Warriors. Hello, it's Miss Frison. First, I want to start off by telling you that I truly do miss you so much. Can't wait till I'm able to see you all back face to face. But until then, I'm hoping that you are still reading, whether it's AR articles you're on already, or just any magazine book that you may have at home. But whatever it is that you are reading, you still come across words that you may be unfamiliar with or not know what those words mean. So I thought it would be a good idea to refresh your memory on how to use context clues to identify the meaning of words you don't know. So let's get started. All right, so our I can statement for this lesson today is I can determine the meaning of unfamiliar words and phrases in a text. Of course, we know we circle our verbs and we underline our nouns. So what we need to know what the word meaning. We also need to know what phrases are. We know phrases are a group of words that are put together. Unfamiliar words. Now let's look at the word unfamiliar. Now, there are two things that I noticed about the word unfamiliar. First, I noticed that it has a prefix on it, which is the prefix un, which means, hopefully you said not. And if you did, very good. Unfamiliar means that it's not familiar. But the second thing that I noticed is that in the word familiar, it makes me think about the word family. And family are people that we know. But if it's unfamiliar or not familiar, these are people or things that we do not know. Okay? So we're going to determine the meaning of words and phrases that we do not know. Okay? The show is going to be your verb. That's what you're going to do. You're going to determine. And that means that you're going to find out or you're going to figure out what these unfamiliar words and phrases mean. Now, when you're trying to find the meaning of unfamiliar words, you're going to have to be like a shark when you to find context clues. Think like a shark. You have to look all around to find clues to the meaning of the word. There are 4 main strategies that you can use to help you attack the word and find its meaning. Actually, there are 5, and I'm going to give you the 5th one because we talk about it in class as well. First, find a synonym. And we know a synonym is a word that means the same as the unfamiliar word. So here's our first example. The homework was more complicated or difficult than she had first thought. Now, there's something that I tell you we see all the time in our reading that we just glance right on over. So sometimes if you see an unfamiliar word, then the word or right after it, 9 times out of 10, they're about to tell you exactly what this word means. So in this example, we can see that the word complicated means that it is difficult. Strategy 2, you can find an antonym. And then if a synonym is a word that means the same, an antonym has to mean the word that means the opposite. So let's look at the example. Even though some of the dogs were very docile, others were very mean. So if others are mean, the opposite of being mean means that the other dogs are nice. 3, you can find an explanation. The word might be explained in the sentence before or after the unfamiliar word, and the only way you'll know if it's explained before or after is if you're like a shark and you look all around that word. So let's look at this example. Joe was so excited, Joe was so exhausted, she could hardly keep her eyes open. Now, if I didn't know what the word exhausted meant, I could look at the part that says that she could hardly keep her eyes open. Now, if she could hardly keep her eyes open, that has to mean, exhausted has to mean that she's probably tired. Okay, number 4 strategy, find an example. Sometimes right after the word, an example will be given. So let's look at this example. Celestial bodies such as the sun, moon, and stars can be seen in the sky. So now let's look at it. What is a celestial body? They just told us exactly what they are. The sun, moon, and the stars. Ooh, watch me. Now I'm going to do a couple to show you exactly how I think when I go through trying to figure out what a word means. Bruno was a malicious kid, and he always picked on children smaller than himself. What does the word malicious mean? Now, when I look at the sentence, I notice that it says he always picks on children that are smaller than himself. Now, if he's malicious, let's look at our answer choices to try to figure this word out. A says smart. There's no clues that tell me that he's smart in this sentence. So I'm going to eliminate A. B, funny. There's no clues to show me that he has said or done anything funny. So I'm going to eliminate B. C, tall. No clues to give me that tells me anything about him being tall. And D, unkind. Now, if he's picking on smaller children, I definitely can see that as being something that is unkind. So I'm going to go with D, but let me show you strategy number 5. Plug and if you were in my classroom, I should be hearing you say chug, right? So let's plug the word unkind in and see if it makes sense in this sentence. Bruno was an unkind kid, and he always picked on children smaller than himself. Unkind would make sense in the sentence in place of the word malicious. So D has to be the answer. Let's try another. An intelligent sleuth with the right tools will help us to solve this crime. What does the word sleuth mean? So let's look for our context clues. So when I look at this sentence, I notice that it's saying that they would help us to solve this crime. So let's see. A says detective. Now we know detectives, they do work to solve crimes, to figure out, use clues to try to figure out the answer to problems. So I'm going to question A, but I'm going to check the rest. B, doctor. Well, a doctor is intelligent, but they don't have anything to do with solving crimes. So I'm going to have to eliminate B. C, pilot. Now, a pilot probably is very intelligent as well, because it takes an intelligent person to be able to maneuver an entire plane, but they don't have anything to do with solving crimes. So we can eliminate C. Let's check D, criminal. Now, a criminal does have something to do with crime, but they don't solve the crime. So we can eliminate D, and our best answer will have to be the answer choice A, detective. Now, let's try a few together. All right, our sentence says, apples, oranges, peaches, and grapes are all considered nutritious food. Let's think about that one. What does the word nutritious mean? All right, so they give us some examples of some nutritious foods. So they give us apples, oranges, peaches, and grapes. Now, let's look at your choices, because sometimes they can be tricky. You have to really think about it. All right, A says tasty. Now, to some people, these fruits may be very tasty, but there are some people who may not like these type of fruit. So we can't necessarily say that nutritious means that they're tasty. So we have to eliminate A. B, yucky, which we know that means that it's nasty, right? Now, just like some people may think that they're tasty, not all people think that they're yucky. So B couldn't be our answer to tell us what nutritious means either. So let's check C, fruit. Now, true, all of these choices are fruit. However, there are other foods that are nutritious that aren't fruit. So C couldn't be the answer. Let's check D, healthy. Now, we have all 4 different types of fruit, and we know that fruits are healthy for us. So if something is nutritious, it has to mean that it is healthy. Very good. Notice that we're having a thought process as we go through these answer choices. I hope that you do the same thing when you try to figure out what words mean. Okay, let's look at another one together. All right, it says, Stephen was extremely anxious about the big test. but Shirley was not nervous at all. What does the word anxious mean? Now, notice that the word but is right in the middle of that sentence. Whenever you see the word but, that shows a contrast of how things are different. So it looks as if they're giving us an antonym for the word anxious. So if Shirley is not nervous, but Stephen is anxious, so I can already kind of figure out what I think this word means, and I think you can too. But let's look at our answer choices. A, excited. I don't think he's excited about this test if he's the opposite of Shirley. She's not nervous, but he is anxious. So let's see. So let's eliminate excited. B, scared. Possibly. Not necessarily. Scared and anxious are similar, but almost a little bit different. So let's keep checking our answer choices to be sure. We may find a better answer choice. C, nervous. So since we already said that it's showing us an antonym that's showing it's contrasting, if Shirley is not nervous, but Stephen is the opposite of Shirley, that means that he probably is nervous, right? Okay, so let's question C, but always remember to check all answer choices. All right, D says proud. I don't think proud would fit in showing how Stephen feels about this test if he's the opposite of Shirley. So if Shirley is not nervous, then that means that he probably is nervous. So the best answer choice would have to be C, nervous. Now, I want you to work on, I'm going to give you a few that I'm going to give you some time to look at them yourself, and then we're going to come back and discuss them, okay? All right, so now I want you to show what you know. Now, I'm going to give you a few minutes just to read the sentence and then look at your answer choices. And then I'm going to go back over and we're going to discuss this answer together. Go. Okay, now let's look at it. Carla found sharpening pencils very mundane. She wished she had a more exciting job. What does the word mundane mean? Okay, so if you look at your sentences, remember you have to be like a shark, look all around, not just in that sentence. You can look at the sentence above it and the sentence below it. Now, it says she wished she had a more exciting job. So if she thinks her job is not exciting, what could she think that her job is then? Let's look at the choices. A, exciting, but she just said she wished she had a more exciting what? Job. So A, definitely we can go ahead and eliminate, all right? B, boring. So it says she found sharpening pencils very mundane. She wished she had a more exciting job. B could possibly be the answer because if I plug in chug, boring in place of mundane, let's see if it makes sense. Carla found sharpening pencils very boring. She wished she had a more exciting job. Sounds like it makes sense to me, but I always check all of your answer choices. So we're going to question B, and we'll come back to it. All right, let's check C. Thrilling. If something is thrilling, it's almost like a synonym to exciting. So if she doesn't think it's exciting, could she think it's thrilling? No. All right, so the answer has to be what? What did you go with? I'm thinking B, boring. Let's check D to be sure. D, helpful. Carla found sharpening pencils very helpful. She wished she had a more exciting job. Now, if I put helpful in place of mundane, it doesn't really make much sense to fit into that sentence. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate that one. So drum roll, please. The answer is boring. And I hope that that's what you picked. Very good. I want you to try one more before we're done. All right? I'm going to give you a few minutes to read this sentence, and then go ahead and look at your answer choices and pick your answer, and go. Okay, let's look at it. Outer space contains a vast amount of stars. You can see millions of them in the night sky. So let's look at your choices. Outer space contains a vast amount of stars. You can see millions of them in the sky. A, small amount of stars. Well, if I could see millions of them, definitely wouldn't be a small amount of them, right? So we can go ahead and eliminate A. All right, let's check B. Outer space contains a large amount of stars because you can see millions of them. Now, when I plug and chug the word large in place of vast, that one does make sense and it sounds right. So I'm going to question B, but we're going to check the rest just to be sure. All right, C, dark. Outer space contains a dark amount of stars. You can see millions of them in the night sky. That one doesn't really make too much sense. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate C. Okay, what about D, bright? Outer space contains a bright amount of stars. You can see millions of them in the sky. Now, the stars, even though they may be bright, that doesn't have anything to do with showing how there are millions of them. So I think the best answer choice for this one, hopefully you picked it, should have been B, large. Okay, so before we go, I want to do a quick recap. And once you finish watching this video, I want you to go have a conversation and review and teach the same thing to your parents, your grandparents, your sister, your brothers, whoever it is that you are at home with. I want you to go back and show them how to use context clues to find the meaning of unfamiliar words. So here we go. When you come across unfamiliar words, use context clues to help you figure out what those words mean. Remember, you have to be like a shark and attack that word and look all around it. The sentence above it, the sentence below it, and whatever else all around that sentence to give you any clues to help you figure out the meaning of that word. So some strategies to look for is to look for synonyms. You can look for antonyms. Remember, synonyms are words that mean the same. Very good. Antonyms are words that are the opposite. Okay. Also, you can look for explanations where they just straight out tell you exactly what that word means. Also, look for examples because sometimes they'll give you examples of what the word means to help you figure it out. Another big clue to remember when you look for synonyms, if you see the word or right after unfamiliar word, a lot of times it's telling you exactly what that word means. Okay, it's giving you a synonym for it. And then the biggest one that we know that we use in class, plug and chug. Try each one of those words in place of that word to see which one makes the most sense. And that's how you can figure out the meaning of unfamiliar words. Miss you all, love you all.